What if I told you that the most private man in Hollywood, the same Tom Cruise who once vanished behind a wall of Scientology silence, just dropped bombshell secrets about his ex-wife Nicole Kidman's divorce? And it's darker than anyone imagined? What if the breakup that shattered her image of perfect love wasn't about distance or fame, but about betrayal, manipulation, and an unholy deal made behind closed doors? Because according to whispers circling Los Angeles and leaked audio from an alleged private dinner, Tom isn't just reacting to Nicole's split from Keith Urban, he's rejoicing in it. He's calling it the circle finally complete. Now insiders claim Cruise has proof that Nicole's fairy tale marriage was built on the same kind of secrets that tore theirs apart 2 decades ago. So buckle up. Because if what Tom allegedly revealed to his inner circle is true, this isn't just Hollywood déjà vu. It's revenge served 24 years later. And trust me, this time Nicole's silence might not save her. It's the Hollywood scandal nobody thought would ever resurface. But Tom Cruise made sure it did. For over 2 decades, he's played the role of the silent ex, the man who never commented, never clapped back, never spoke a word about his shattered marriage to Nicole Kidman. But behind that million-dollar grin and Scientology perfect posture, sources say Tom was waiting for the moment the world would see Nicole the way he claimed to have seen her all along, not as the innocent, elegant Hollywood queen, but as the ultimate actress playing the biggest role of her life, the perfect wife. And now, with Nicole's marriage to country star Keith Urban reportedly collapsing, Tom's silence has turned into satisfaction. Word around Beverly Hills is that Cruise didn't just break his silence, he leaked it. A mysterious insider, allegedly close to Tom's old security team, claims he's been sharing private truths about Nicole, things that were never supposed to leave his vault. Things that make their 2001 divorce look like the rehearsal, not the ending. Tom always said people would know one day, an alleged source told an online gossip column. He called it divine timing. He said when the truth comes, she'll understand what it feels like to be on the other side of the illusion. Let's rewind for a second, because to understand this new Hollywood chaos, you need to remember how Tom and Nicole's fairy tale began. 1990, they meet on the set of Days of Thunder. Hollywood's golden couple, beautiful, young, unstoppable. For a decade, they ruled the red carpet, smiling like a pair of love robots built in the same lab. But while the world saw romance, Tom allegedly saw rebellion. Behind the smiles were religious wars, jealousy, and whispered control tactics straight out of a psychological thriller. And when Tom filed for divorce in 2001, days after Nicole publicly said she was looking forward to their 10th anniversary, he didn't just leave her, he erased her. Scientology reportedly branded her as a suppressive person, and even her adopted kids, Connor and Isabella, distanced themselves from her. That wound never fully healed, but here's where it gets messier. Fast forward to now, Nicole's second marriage to Keith Urban, once hailed as her great redemption, has allegedly collapsed. Multiple tabloids have reported that Keith quietly moved out of their Nashville home in June 2025, citing creative differences and long-distance stress. But one insider says it's not stress, it's secrets, and that's when Tom entered the chat, according to the same leak. That's now going viral on every celebrity forum imaginable. Tom Cruise told friends that he knew it would end this way. He allegedly hinted that Keith Urban was not who people think he is, some say. Tom was shown private documents years ago, documents involving money transfers, confidential medical reports, and even alleged agreements signed between Nicole and Keith before their marriage. One anonymous source described the revelations as career-ending. Another claimed Cruise's comments were less about revenge and more about revelation. In other words, Tom allegedly believes the truth about Nicole's marriage exposes a pattern, one that proves he wasn't the villain in 2001. And here's where it goes from scandalous to sinister. Because apparently, Tom has receipts. Rumors online suggest he's been in possession of unreleased footage from a private retreat the couple attended in 2005, just before Keith's rehab stint. That footage, reportedly archived for spiritual counseling purposes, allegedly captures explosive arguments about betrayal, jealousy, and a marital arrangement that sounds more like a business merger than a love story. Now, no one knows if this footage actually exists. No one's seen it. But the timing? Suspiciously perfect. The moment divorce headlines about Nicole and Keith hit the tabloids, suddenly whispers about Tom's secret tapes started trending on Reddit and celebrity TikTok pages. Coincidence? Please. Hollywood doesn't believe in coincidences, only contracts and consequences. Meanwhile, Nicole's team is reportedly panicking. Her publicist has gone full lockdown. No comments, no statements, no acknowledgement, but fans have noticed that her social media posts have changed tone completely. Gone are the serene countryside selfies with Keith. Now it's cryptic captions like, "Some endings come as beginnings in disguise." Guys. And here's the kicker, Nicole was recently spotted leaving a private club in Sydney, visibly shaken, accompanied by a man rumored to be her crisis PR strategist. The paparazzi caught her with her phone in hand, ignoring questions about Tom's alleged revelations. When one shouted, "Nicole, did Tom lie?" she just smiled faintly and whispered, "He never does, he just edits." That line alone sent the internet into meltdown. What did she mean by "he just edits"? Was it sarcasm, a jab at Tom's image control, or something deeper, a sign that she knows exactly what footage he's sitting on? Whatever the truth, this isn't just an old divorce being dredged up. It's a full-blown rebranding war between two of Hollywood's most powerful ghosts. Tom's camp wants vindication, Nicole's wants preservation, and Keith Urban, well, he's allegedly gone radio silent, but trust me, silence in this story never means peace. Because according to one very talkative ex-assistant, the next wave of leaks might not just involve emails or footage. They might involve bank transfers, money quietly shifted between Nicole's production company, and an offshore account allegedly tied to a foundation linked to Scientology's legal branch. If that's true, this story isn't just about divorce secrets. It's about control, power, and the Hollywood machine that eats reputations alive and spits out rebranded saints and Tom Cruise. He might just be orchestrating his greatest comeback yet, not in a movie theater, but in the court of public opinion. And in the court of public opinion, Tom Cruise isn't just winning, he's directing the entire movie, because the moment those whispers about Nicole's hidden finances hit social media, the story mutated faster than a Hollywood PR team can say no comment. Suddenly, old interviews, half-forgotten clips, and blurry paparazzi photos started resurfacing like ghosts from the early 2000s. Fans on Reddit began calling it the Kidman conspiracy, a full-blown theory that Tom Cruise has been collecting information on Nicole for over 2 decades, not to destroy her, but to prove he was never the villain. Now, imagine this, Tom sitting in one of his futuristic, soundproof LA mansions, watching the chaos unfold with a smirk, probably sipping mineral water imported from space, whispering to himself, "Showtime," because insiders say he's been working with a confidential biographer, someone who's allegedly been piecing together a tell-all manuscript called The Undoing of Nicole. And no, that's not a coincidence. It's reportedly a direct reference to Nicole's HBO hit series The Undoing, which, according to sources, Tom found ironic because she played a woman living a lie. Petty? Absolutely, but in Tom's world, revenge comes gift-wrapped in symbolism. The alleged manuscript supposedly includes details about Nicole's emotional volatility, private therapy sessions, and secret notes from her early post-divorce years, notes that were never meant to be public, according to one anonymous publishing insider. If this ever gets printed, it'll make the Depp Heard trial look like a Disney movie, of course. Tom's reps deny everything, but that denial came suspiciously fast, as if someone had already hit a nerve. Meanwhile, social media is eating it up like popcorn at a premiere. #CruiseLeaks has racked up over 40 million views on TikTok, with armchair detectives dissecting everything from Nicole's old red carpet body language to Keith Urban's sudden public disappearance. There's even a viral clip of Tom laughing on stage at a recent film festival. Edited with dramatic captions, "He knows something, internet detectives are calling it the smirk of karma," but the real bombshell dropped when a supposed audio leak hit a gossip podcast. The recording, allegedly taken from a private dinner in 2019, features a man whose voice sounds eerily like Tom's, saying, "You can build an empire on charm, but it still collapses if it's built on lies." The host claimed it was Tom Cruise speaking in code about Nicole's new marriage. Whether real or manufactured by AI, it didn't matter. The damage was done. Overnight, every gossip outlet from TMZ to Daily Mail had the quote plastered across headlines like "a digital scar." And Nicole? She stayed silent. But silence in Hollywood isn't peace, it's strategy. Because just days later, she appeared in Paris, walking the runway at Balenciaga, her posture straight, her expression unreadable. Commentators called it a message to Tom. Her look screamed untouchable, like a queen who's seen the battlefield but refuses to show blood. But insiders weren't convinced. According to one friend of a friend, Nicole's been privately distraught. She feels haunted, they claimed. She rebuilt her image, her family, her peace, and now Tom's trying to strip that away again, piece by piece. But here's where things get really twisted. Remember that alleged footage from the 2005 retreat? The one Tom supposedly has in his archives? Well, now, a confidential digital forensics firm claims they've been contacted to authenticate clips that appear to show Nicole in a heated argument. ALLEGEDLY accusing Keith of repeating Tom's control tactics. The clip is grainy, almost impossible to verify, but that hasn't stopped every gossip account from reposting it with captions like, "Nicole's private meltdown. The cycle repeats. Coincidence or orchestration?" Because conveniently, these leaks seem to appear just when Tom's upcoming film, a mysterious sci-fi thriller about truth manipulation, starts its press cycle. Some say it's all a PR stunt. Others think it's psychological warfare, Tom reminding the world that he still controls the narrative, both on screen and off. Even Keith Urban, who's usually soft-spoken and apolitical, finally cracked. During a recent concert in Texas, he reportedly paused mid-performance and muttered, "You can't live your life under someone else's religion." The crowd went silent. Social media exploded. Was he talking about Scientology? About Tom? About Nicole's past haunting their marriage? Nobody knows, and that's exactly why people can't stop watching. Now, if you think Tom Cruise is acting alone in all this, think again. Hollywood insiders claim there's an entire network of loyalists, former Scientology members, security staff, and even publicists who've allegedly been feeding him information for years. They call it the Circle, a web of silence, control, and power stretching from Beverly Hills to Sydney. According to one anonymous email leaked on Reddit, Tom doesn't need spies. He built a system. People volunteered to keep him informed, and here's where the tone shifts from scandal to suspicion, because now people are asking, is this about revenge or something darker? Is Tom using Nicole's pain as a case study, an example of how truth can be managed? Or is he genuinely convinced he's exposing a moral imbalance in the Hollywood machine? Either way, the fallout is undeniable. Nicole's endorsements have reportedly been paused. Her production team has gone quiet. A charity she co-founded suddenly removed her name from its board page. The ripple effect is everywhere. Subtle, surgical, effective. Tom's reputation, once shadowed by Scientology controversies, is strangely improving. Some fans even call him a man of integrity, a phrase that would have been laughed off 5 years ago. It's as if Tom Cruise didn't just leak gossip. He's rewriting history. Slowly, meticulously, like a director editing a film frame by frame until the truth looks like fiction. And fiction looks like divine justice. And here's the unsettling part. He's winning, but every great Hollywood script has a twist, right? Because while Tom's basking in his so-called redemption arc, new whispers are surfacing, ones that flip the entire narrative upside down. And just when everyone thought the drama couldn't get any messier, bam! Tom Cruise allegedly took things to a level nobody saw coming. Because, according to an insider who claims to have been present at one of Cruz's private Scientology retreats in Clearwater, he didn't just talk about Nicole. He performed an entire monologue about her downfall. Yes, you heard that right. The man who gave us Mission Impossible is now allegedly starring in his own emotional expose, using Nicole's personal life as the script. Witnesses claim Tom described her marriage to Keith Urban as a sequel doomed to flop, and said Nicole still hasn't learned how to tell the truth in love or in life. That line alone has the internet spiraling. Fans are asking, what truth is Tom talking about? Because if the rumors are true, Nicole's allegedly been hiding more than just her emotions. A leaked internal memo from a high-profile PR firm allegedly hired by Urban's team claims that Nicole has been strategically managing her public image through carefully planted interviews and fake tabloid leaks for over a decade. Basically, she's been playing both sides, the grieving ex-wife and the golden Hollywood saint, depending on which way the wind blows. And here's where things really start to sound like a script straight out of Eyes Wide Shut. One of Tom's so-called former spiritual advisors claims that during their marriage, Nicole was the reason Cruz started questioning his faith. She allegedly wanted to detach him from the church because she didn't trust how much control they had over his decisions. But the real kicker? According to the source, Nicole once told Tom that she would destroy his reputation if he ever turned against her. Fast forward 20 years, and it seems like Tom never forgot that threat. Now, this is where the story gets eerie. After Tom's alleged comments at that private gathering leaked, fans began resurfacing old interviews where he made cryptic statements about people pretending to be angels but living like demons. And when you put those puzzle pieces together, it starts to look like Tom's been dropping hints about Nicole for years. He even said in one interview that truth has a way of reappearing when lies grow tired. At the time, everyone thought he was talking about Hollywood politics. But in hindsight, it sounds like a warning shot aimed straight at Nicole. Meanwhile, Keith Urban, poor Keith, has reportedly gone full ghost mode. Sources close to him claim he's been emotionally wrecked since Tom's comments hit the press. Apparently, he's furious that Tom used his name in the same breath as Scientology, and he's allegedly consulting lawyers about possible defamation. But here's the thing, Tom never said anything directly on record. Everything came through sources, private leaks, and anonymous friends, so technically, he's untouchable. It's like he's pulling the strings from behind the curtain while the rest of Hollywood scrambles to figure out what's real and what's revenge. And let's not forget Nicole's response, or lack thereof. Because while the headlines exploded, Nicole hasn't said a single word. No statement, no denial, no clap back. Just that cold, calm silence she's mastered over the years. But as one entertainment insider put it, Nicole's silence isn't peace, it's preparation. Rumor has it she's planning her own tell-all documentary, and it won't just cover her marriage to Tom. It'll dive into what really happened between her and Keith during those final months before the split. Allegedly, Nicole feels cornered and betrayed, not just by Tom, but by the entire Hollywood machine that still treats her like a porcelain doll. And according to people who claim to have seen early drafts of her notes, she plans to name names, expose manipulations, and reclaim her truth. In other words, if Tom thought he had the final word, he might have just started a war he can't control. Industry insiders are already calling this the Hollywood divorce Cold War. On one side, you've got Tom, armed with decades of silence and spiritual conviction, using cryptic leaks to rewrite history. On the other, you've got Nicole, the ever-calculated actress, ready to turn her pain into power. And in the middle of it all, Keith Urban, left to pick up the emotional shrapnel of a feud that was never his to begin with. But here's the twist nobody saw coming. A new leak, allegedly from an entertainment attorney once linked to Cruz's legal team, claims there's a sealed document in their old divorce settlement that both parties agreed never to discuss publicly. The document supposedly outlines certain moral violations and psychological breaches that could destroy both their careers if exposed. Some believe Tom's sudden outburst is his way of warning Nicole not to cross that line. Others think it's a calculated move to discredit her before she can make her own move. Either way, it's clear, the game isn't over because, as one Hollywood PR insider put it, Tom, Nicole's divorce wasn't an ending. It was an intermission, and now, nearly 24 years later, the second act has begun, louder, messier, and more public than ever. The whispers are turning into headlines, the headlines into investigations, and the investigations into something far more dangerous, the truth. And while fans keep arguing online about who's right, who's lying, and who's just playing the victim, one thing's for sure, Tom Cruise has rewritten the rules of revenge. He's no longer the silent superstar who smiles for the cameras and dodges scandal. He's the man who waited decades to drop his truth, and he's making sure the world watches every second of it. So if you thought the first divorce was dramatic, stay tuned. Because the sequel? It's just getting started. And now, the question everyone's asking, who do you believe? Is Tom Cruise finally exposing the truth after years of silence? Or is this just another Hollywood revenge act disguised as a confession? Either way, this drama just flipped the script on everything we thought we knew about love, loyalty, and lies in Tinseltown. If this story shook you like it did us, hit that like button, drop your wildest theory in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, because the secrets coming next will make this look like a trailer. You're watching Lumi Legacy, where truth sounds crazier than fiction, and every scandal gets a sequel.